Today we are talking about one cloud platform on which millions business rely on that. And that is AWS Cloud. 800 billion global cloud market, 33% market share, one single vendor, and 1/3 of the global cloud market. 1 million plus business rely on this platform. And that much powerful AWS Cloud is. If you are new here, I am Chris from iCloud Excel. I'm ex-Amazonian. I have spent over 23 years working in IT infrastructure and AWS cloud technologies, including over a decade in Silicon Valley, San Francisco, helping organizations to build solutions on AWS cloud. On this channel, I help you master on AWS cloud, DevOps, AI through simple explanations, real-world scenarios, and hands-on learning. Let's dive in. So if you think about Netflix, Airbnb, NASA, Uber, those big companies, what is the common for all of them? They all rely on global infrastructure, which is AWS global infrastructure, and their business running on this global infrastructure. In this video, you will learn what cloud computing is and what AWS is, and then how you can get started with AWS cloud, and then essential service you can start with, then how you can start with certification so that you can get advantage of this AWS skill and get the highest paying offer. The cloud computing is actually using others' computers over the internet. This is that simple. Instead of buying your storage, server, databases, you are using them over the internet and you're paying them how much you use it, how long you use it. If you really want to understand cloud computing, you should go back to the history when we lived in data center world where we racked our server in the data center. And we bought it, we installed that server, racked it, and then install the operating system. We then deployed applications. Those are all manual stuff. So each server used to hold one applications. The architecture looks like this: hardware, then operating system, and then applications. So single server in this case. Then we came to the new way. The new way, we introduced hypervisor in the middle. So server hardware, then we install hypervisor, and then we were able to create multiple virtual machines. And each virtual machines can have an isolated environment. One virtual machine has application issues, it doesn't impact to the other virtual machines. And each and every virtual machines can have a different operating system and different applications. So now the server hardware utilization increased. It is not idle anymore. If you see any idle hardware, you keep on adding more virtual machines in the same hardware. This architecture looks like hardware, hypervisor, and then you have a guest VM virtual machines, and each virtual machines has a different applications running. So if you compare the two, left side we have a legacy servers where hardware, operating system, and single application running on single server. Then right side we came to the new way, hardware, hypervisor, then we have a virtual machines created, and each virtual machines has a individual application running, and they created their own cocoon-like isolated environment. If you compare old way versus new way, old way, buy expensive servers, wait months to set up, and then pay whether used or not, and then hire data center staff, guess future capacity as well, and manage it, whole thing. The new way is rent the computing by hour or second, launch in minutes, pay only for what you use, and then AWS manages all hardware and you can scale automatically if you configure auto scaling in AWS. So the new way is very advanced and good for business. So cloud computing means using someone else's computer over the internet. Instead of buying storage, server, databases, you are just using them and paying as per usage. So one of the critical feature of cloud computing is you pay as you go. This is the model you follow. Model looks like public bus versus private car. Let's say you have to travel from Mountain View to San Francisco. I'm taking this place because I lived there more than 10 years. You can go two way. One is you take your private car, you have to pay for the gas, you have to drive, you have to pay for the insurance of the car, you have to pay for the traffic signals you break, right? But other way is you just take on a bus, public bus, and you just pay for the ticket price and you land there in San Francisco. You didn't have to drive, you didn't have to pay for the gas, you didn't have to pay for the traffic signal you break, whatever traffic rule you break. You didn't have to do any of these. You didn't take that headache as well. But you just pay for the rent or ticket and then you reach that place. AWS Cloud is the same way. You just consume that cloud or you connect your business to the cloud platform and you pay for the amount you use, how long you use it, and you have flexibility whenever you want to use it. So AWS is like your public bus in this analogy. Another analogy you can think of, your electricity usage. You don't build power plant for your home electricity. You just connect your home to the electric grid and you use it based on the meter bill, you pay for it. It's so easy. AWS Cloud is the same way. You just connect your business to the AWS Cloud and you use it and pay it. There is no doubt AWS is undisputed number one cloud platform. The reason is they are the one invented and started in 2004. They started with compute and S3 object storage and now they are so big, you know it. All the businesses rely on it because AWS provides massive global infrastructure. So you can consume it from anywhere and how much you want it, whenever you want it. So AWS mainly solves three problems: cost, speed, scale. Cost, you pay only for what you use it. That is huge benefit. That's the reason a lot of startup companies came, because they didn't have to build a data center. They can just start day one and build their application on the day one and start their business. And if their business goes viral, application goes viral, website goes viral, immediately they can scale, and when they don't want it, they scale it down. The second thing is speed. They solve it. Immediately you can spin up your infrastructure in few minutes and you use it and then destroy it after an hour. So you pay only for that hour or time you use it. And then third benefit is scaling. You can scale whenever you want and you can scale it down when you want it. So you don't have any responsibility for the underlying hardware it's running. The giant team is working behind the scene to just serve you that. If you have a AWS skill, you can take opportunity for highest paying role. In California, average salary is 130K for AWS skills. This is very lower number. I worked for AWS Amazon directly, so I know this is very lower number. Package goes 400K, 500K, depends on your skill and negotiation. In Bay Area, yearly package can go 500K. So on top of, you have an opportunity or possibilities to have 50% or more growth. And if you're in India, if you are expert, you can go for 40 lakhs per annum to 1 crore per year. You may be thinking, why so many businesses relying on AWS? Because AWS has a global infrastructure and it has a three pillar: region, availability zone, and edge location. Region is isolated geography area such as California, Oregon, North Virginia, Mumbai in India. So in that region, there are availability zones, and each availability zone consists of 2 or more data centers, and each data centers are powered by and network it has from different source, so that one data center down or any impact, it doesn't impact to the other data center. So multiple availability zone consist of one region. Apart from that, you have edge locations. So edge locations are data center infrastructure spread across the globe, and some edge locations inside the region or some are outside the region. And these edge locations stores data or caches data for the user, so that when you watch a Netflix movie, immediately it starts, because it is not getting the data from the source, it's getting data from the edge locations, which is near to the user, means you as a user, the edge location sitting near to you. If fast request fails, it immediately buffer or caches the data you are requesting. Second request onwards, it is on your service. If you look at this diagram, you have an availability zone, in this case 3 availability zone, and each availability zone has 2 or more data centers, and availability zones are connected via low latency resilient fiber and has a less than 2 milliseconds latency. And these 3 availability zone creates a one region, and apart from this, you have a edge locations. And if you look at this map, you see the regions and availability zones are spread across globally, and business can leverage any of the nearest regions for their applications. It maybe depends on the government regulatory region, or maybe they have a user in that place. There are many factors. And this map tells you how edge locations are distributed. Some edge locations inside the region and some edge locations outside the region across the globe, spread across. So if you think about Netflix, Airbnb, NASA, they solve their problem using AWS. There is a reason, because AWS gave them so much robust infrastructure globally and they can rely on it. And that's why they solve their problem using AWS. You can start your AWS journey. First, you create your free tier account. It takes really few minutes. You just have to give your credit card information. They are not gonna charge you, but that's the mandatory thing. And you get free tier eligible EC2 instance for 750 hours per month for a year, and 5 GB of S3 storage space free. And then there are many services available you can avail using free tier account, because they want you to try so that you can leverage this AWS platform for your business as well. And step 2, what you do once you create your AWS account, you start exploring AWS Management Console, and you explore the services, you create the infrastructure, you get a feel of creating instantly something, and you get hang on to it, and then you started using for your business. And step 3, you do, if you are a developer, you start exploring AWS CDK, which you can use your high-level programming language such as Golang, Python, Java to create infrastructure. Even you can use AWS SDK such as Boto3 to create applications in AWS using your code. When you have AWS account created, I will recommend you to explore 3 essential services. Number 1 is EC2, number 2 EC2, and number 3 RDS. These foundation services, if you explore on it, then if you go for the next services, it would be very easy for you. So if you are starting in AWS new, you start these 3 services. Once you explore little bit, then probably you may think about the AWS certification, because AWS certification can give you leverage for getting a high paying job, because you can stand out from a crowd that you have AWS certifications and you can show your skill to the employer, and employer also can trust you because now you have a certification. They can rely on you for AWS infrastructure. So they don't have to ask hundreds of questions just to validate whether you have AWS skill or not. Because if you just write in resume, it doesn't mean that you know the AWS. Believe me, I took a lot of interviews during my day in Amazon, and it is not easy to get AWS skill. So this is high demanding skill. If you jump into it, you get leverage to get a high paying job. So there are many jobs available in the job market, such as solution architect, cloud engineer, DevOps engineer, security specialist. These are very few, but many of the developer job as well, company looks for cloud skill because it gives the leverage to their business as well. I would recommend you, if you are starting AWS certification journey, start with cloud practitioner certification. That's the first one. And then you get a stab on solution architect associate level. In globally, as per 2020 data, more than 4 lakhs AWS certified professional available. So you can think of how much demand it has. Before we go any further, I want to tell you about something which is going to change how fast you can grow on AWS. I have built a private community called 10x AWS Builder, and it is not just another Facebook group or Discord server or WhatsApp group with a lot of noise. This is focused and professional community built specifically for people like you, people who are serious about building their AWS career, passing their certifications, getting hired or promoted to the next cloud role. Here is what you get the moment you sign up. Weekly live Q&A calls. Ask me anything about AWS certifications, jobs. This will be live Q&A weekly sessions. I hold that Zoom call and you get answer instantly. And we can brainstorm as well on your problem. And you get direct mentorship. I will personally help you to build your learning roadmap, your certification path, fix your gaps, and keep you accountable for your goals. And I will guide you on this every step of the way. Third thing, you get 24/7 community access. At night 11 PM you got a questions, just post your questions. Our community never sleeps. Someone from your community member will answer it. And you get peer network of serious AWS learners. The people who join 10x AWS Builder, they are not here to watch passively. They are building, certifying, and landing cloud jobs. And that energy is contagious. Link in the description below. I will see you in the community for you. So if you think about level 1, level 2, level 3, level 1, you start with level 1 certifications, which is foundation level. Level 2 is associate level. You can start with solution architect, and then level 3 is a professional specialty level. You can explore more on the certification. Find the link in the description and you explore on the certifications when you have a time. So what you have learned today? You learned what cloud computing is, what AWS is, why AWS platform is so powerful and engine behind all the big companies. And I recommended you to explore on 3 services when you're starting with AWS and how you can start your certification journey as well. Before you stop watching this video, I want you to remember these 5 points. Number 1, AWS is a cloud platform. On-demand computing, pay only for what you use. It solves cost, speed and scale problem. And it has a global footprint with regions, availability zone and edge locations. And AWS provides 3 cloud models. One is infrastructure as a service. If you create a EC2 instance or compute, then it is an infrastructure as a service. Then you have a platform as a service. If you use their platform but you are not managing any infrastructure, such as Elastic Beanstalk, if you leverage, that's the platform as a service. And if you're just consuming the software from the cloud, such as Poly AI service, that's a software as a service. So they have 3 type of cloud models. Then the highest paying tech jobs you get, if you have AWS skill with certifications, definitely you have a huge demand in the industry. You can leverage your skill and get the highest paying job. You can get into companies like Netflix, Airbnb, NASA. I gave an interview in NASA as well, but I didn't get through. But there is an opportunity you can get into those companies. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope this gives you what cloud computing is, how you can leverage this for your advantage, for your career and complete the certifications. And I wish you best of luck as you're starting your AWS journey. And if you have any questions, just put a comment below. I am here to help you. Thank you so much. I will see you in the next.